Today on the channel, Todd McFarlane, we say cock a doodle doo with the Red Rooster WWE Mattel Elite Greatest Hits Target exclusive.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Barnyard unboxing, this time with the Target Greatest Hits WWE Mattel Elite Red Rooster. But for all your Red Rooster needs, Target. But for everything else under the sun, hit up Ringside Collectibles, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. And the Red Rooster rides again, cock-a-doodle-doo all day. Red Rooster we got once upon a time. It was like a Target online exclusive. It was right at the beginning of COVID, if I remember correctly, but you could only order him online. Occasionally you'd see him in store if somebody returned it, but he was an online exclusive basically. It was a weird kind of time for Mattel doing things like that. I was happy to get it once upon a time because, believe it or not, much like Brutus Beefcake and maybe to another degree of Brutus Beefcake, because let's all agree Brutus Beefcake was more popular than the Red Rooster, but as a little kid in that window of time where I was little, I don't know what age I was, 7, 8 years old maybe, I don't know what I was, but Terry Taylor, I didn't have an issue with the Red Rooster gimmick. It was okay to me. I was buying it. I mean, it looked ridiculous. It was weird, but it just was kind of the thing that was going on at the time in the WWF. It was a wild time. People had snakes. They had birds. There was a lot going on. And I didn't have an issue with this. And I liked his feud with the Brooklyn Brawler, him and Bobby Heenan. I enjoyed all of that. I know I'm probably in the minority. I know it basically killed his career, unfortunately, but I enjoyed the Red Rooster. Now, I followed the Red Rooster after he left that. He did go to WCW for a while. I'll never forget, I forget, it was like, remember Jack Brickhouse? We're talking Chicago people here. Todd, you don't know this stuff up in Canada once upon a time, but there was this show on WGN, and I remember it was WCW, it was on Saturdays. I don't know if you had WGN, you watched it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But I'll never forget when Arn Anderson was the TV champion. There was like 3 weeks in a row where it was Terry Taylor versus Arn Anderson, and that was some of the greatest wrestling matches I'd ever seen at that young age as a kid, maybe 1990, 91, I don't know what year it was, but I remember really having new respect for Terry Taylor around that time. Obviously he ditched the Rooster gimmick, but I thought those matches were great. Obviously Arn Anderson, a favorite of mine. So I got a little bit more Terry Taylor respect out of that. Then he went to be Terrence Taylor in WCW. We remember that with the York Foundation. I was eating that up with a fork and a spoon as well. So I'm not a Terry Taylor hater like some people are, and obviously it comes a lot from the Red Rooster. It was fun for what it is. Never was he going to be world champion, anything like that. We knew that, but it was a moment in time. It was worth it. I remember the trading cards as a kid. Oh, I got the Red Rooster. All right, I was excited. Either way, it's an interesting figure, and it's interesting to get this one back again, this time in the Legends line. But of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And we're going to cock a doodle doo with the Red Rooster here. Terry Taylor looking good. First thing I'm going to say on this one looks awfully similar to the last one. You know we're going to compare it between the other two, or the other one. We'll have the two here to compare against each other. But this one, compared to everybody else's Greatest Hits line, looks like the least amount of changes outside of probably the joints. We'll see what's different. Hopefully a little bit more than meets the eye like a young Transformers. Personally, I would have absolutely loved it if we could have got a second head for Terry Taylor here, and we could have used a different head and make him not necessarily the Rooster. I think that would have been a cool idea. He could have just been plain old Terry Taylor, and he had matches as Terry Taylor, not the Red Rooster, I think before this gimmick, and maybe even after this gimmick, if I'm not mistaken. But I would have loved to seen something like that. I don't know how much meat on the bone is there for just a regular Terry Taylor figure. We got that part of the Legends line once upon a time from Jakks. Shout out to Jakks Legends TNA line, not Classic Superstars, but we did get that once upon a time. I don't know if Mattel would give us that deep cut, maybe too deep of a cut. I could see possibly in the York Foundation gimmick though, so we'll see what happens in the future there. But it is WWE logo, Greatest Hits, Elite, Red Rooster, Mattel. What do we got? 8 and up? Yep, you 7-year-olds, you can't handle this cock, that's for sure. That's what Todd always says from the couch all the time too. We got the Rooster on the side, Rooster on the side. Greatest Hits line, hitting shippers, hitting targets right now. And there's the rooster, got the glamour shot, got a little tail of the tape, got the cross-sell unboxing every single one of these on the channel, so make sure you do subscribe. At the very end, we're going to unbox the Cody Chase and rank the entire wave. But it does say, though he considered himself the cock of the walk, and much like myself, Todd, the Red Rooster found himself at the bottom of the pecking order in the Heenan family. Soon the chickens came home to roost for Bobby Heenan, and the Red Rooster learned how to fly on his own. It was a redemption story if there ever was one, as we remember. Very weird to have Bobby Heenan with him as well, but then they had that feud and that classic match, never forget. There he is, old Terry Taylor. I think Terry Taylor, see you later. I think he works down at NXT, I believe, still to this day. So shout out to him being employed. Always a good thing to be employed. There he is in the plastic prison. Let's get these twist ties out of here. Let's free this little cock. And let me tell you, this is a little cock right here, about 6 inches or so. That's a little guy, if you ask me. You know, we're gonna pull these hands out. Oh, there we go. There we go. Twist ties everywhere. See you later. Side shuffle. Goodbye. Let's get down to the Red Rooster. I see some differences. But we do get extra hands with this one. He's got some messed up fingers, like they got broken somewhere. Maybe the Brooklyn Brawler stomped on him along the way. But we do get the splayed out hands ready to go. I guess he's ready to cock-a-doodle-doo. I guess he's ready to do that if he needs to. And we'll see what happens, but looking good. A point of difference, as I always say, make them as different as you possibly can. That's a way to make it a little bit different. But now we're diving into the rooster, and we're starting with the head, and you can't miss that rooster, that red hair at the top. That must have been fun. I bet he wore a lot of hats in the airport and stuff, but he's got that nice there up there. It's basically like a rooster mohawk in red. Looking pretty good. And then you got Terry Taylor, very glossy in the face, very glossy. He looks like he's out of a magazine or something, a male model, like a young Rick Martel, who knows. But he does got that mullet on point and looking good with that kind of blondish brown hair. Looks like Terry Taylor. Obviously, somebody hands you this head, you're going to know who it is. You take that rooster hair out of there, though. You might be a little bit confused, but I see the Terry Taylor in this. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Some pearly white teeth. He's playing all those rooster hits. I believe he only ate corn nuts because he couldn't get feed all the time, but he could always get corn nuts at the airport if I was told correctly. And back then, in his time, they only had one flavor of corn nuts. So now the world's his oyster if he wants to, but looking interesting there. Now he's got the jacket here. That is one way to make a point of difference is you grab this jacket, take it off, leave the other one with the jacket on. It does say Rooster on the back, looking good. And I guess it's supposed to be like feathers or something, but you got the silver and red attack looking very good. Velcro on that. You get just a very plain Jane body here, a very plain Jane body for the Red Rooster. Would be great for customizers. You need a little bit more plainer body. It does say Rooster right there on the trunks. I can't remember if the other one does. We're going to find out soon here. But there goes that Terry Taylor idea here to make it a Terry Taylor because you got the Rooster here. So a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Nothing on the back. Got the big knee pads here. Does that hide pinless joints? Nope, pin joints down here. Now, I say it all the time in the unboxings. I hate pin joints, but if they're covered up by knee pads, out of sight, out of mind, I'm okay with that. So we get that with those in red. And then we do get the boots down here, RR down here, like a young RP like Roddy Piper used to have in red and white, looking good. Some tall boots, making him a little bit taller than maybe he needs to be, if you ask me. We do got the Red Rooster, and then let's see what we got under these arms. No elbow pads. We do get pinless joints on him, though. So that's nice for those like myself that like the pinless joints. Looking good there. Now, arms go all the way around. You do get the bicep cut. Double jointed, pinless elbows, as I mentioned. Hands back and forth, side to side. Got gripping hands over here. Hands removable. Head back and forth, side to side. Head removable if you need to, for whatever reason. Take that rooster head off, that big cock head. That's what it is, Todd. Then you got the ab crunch here, waist articulation. Splits, one splits, one does not. We got the usual Vietnam issues going on. This whole set is plagued by the Vietnam issues. Hate to say it, hate to report on it, but it is true. I just don't understand how this can't be fixed. Leg goes up and bounces back. We got that action feature here, like an old Hasbro. Bam, he's got that rooster kick. It is the cock of the walk kick is what that is. But we got that going on once again. Other leg is fine, though. The left leg, seemingly a lot of times, is fine. It's the right leg that's just full of trouble for whatever reason. thigh cut, double jointed pin knees on this one. And then you got the boot cut, ankles back, forth, side to side, up and down. New ankle articulation on this one, though. So there is some differences there. But man, that leg issue just driving me crazy in this set. I really get the feeling that this set was made long ago and it's been sitting like in factories or the Target warehouses. They made it and said, hey, this is for the holiday season, as we see the greatest hits in shippers the last couple of years. And they just had them sitting there and now they're finally out. I may be wrong, I may be right, you never know. 2024 WWE is what it says. Vietnam, of course, on the bottom. And he should fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand. Using code Kyle, save 10%. Looking good. Cock-a-doodle-doo all day. How about that? But the Rooster looking nice here. We got the original Rooster as well. Seeing a lot of similarities between these two. This one is the one where if you have the old one, you could maybe just pass on this new one. A little bit of differences here. You do get one fisted hand for this Rooster. The head sculpt is different, and dare I say he looks more like Terry Taylor in the old one, which is an interesting twist. A little bit more mannequin over here, mannequin-y. It's like that movie Mannequin. Or even better, Todd McFarlane, a favorite of yours. You're from Canada, you should know this. Today's Special. Yes, Today's Special. He's looking like Jeff from Today's Special. Shout it loud and clear, Todd McFarlane. You know we're all about Today's Special over here. Somebody call Sam Crenshaw. He's going to be my new bodyguard. That's what I'm going to do. And maybe Muffy. She could come live upstairs with the other rats. Who knows? Who knows? And Jody. Don't get me started on Jody. I heard she passed away, though. But Jody, an all-timer back in the day. Shout out to Jody. I think that was the whole gang. But Today's Special, shout it loud and clear. Look it up if you don't know that one. But I prefer the head on the old one. Jacket's basically a wash, kind of the same thing going on here. A little bit of differences, but for the most part, the same kind of thing. Hands being removable is a nice plus. Pinless joints on the upside is a nice plus. Same knee pads, same boot kind of thing going on. So not a ton of meat on the bone. A little bit more meat on the bone with the other ones in this collection, I will say, part of Greatest Hits. But unfortunately, we still do have some problems from the Vietnam factory. I hate to report it, but here we are today with the Red Rooster. So there it is, the Red Rooster, the cock of the walk, if you will. What's your guys' thoughts on this Rooster? Do you need this cock in your life? Is this cock big enough for you? Let me know. Todd, it's not big enough for you. I know you want double size, and that's why you hang around me all the time. I understand it. I get it. You like about that size. That's what I thought. But let me know your thoughts on this Red Rooster in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Always helps the channel. I know some of you guys like to just thumbs down all my videos, and I know when you thumbs those down, you're not thumbs downing me. You're thumbing down old Red Rooster, and that hurts his feelings. But I get it. You like what you like. You don't what you don't. But I'm perfectly, Todd and I talked about this. We perfectly know that any thumbs down I ever get, it's about the figure, not about me. Or even worse, it's my wife. She gets the most thumb down videos. Can you believe that? Everybody says, oh, she's getting all these views. She gets the most thumbs down. I don't know what that's about, but it definitely isn't me. We know that for sure. But let me know your thoughts on the Red Rooster, as I got on a tangent there, Todd. Let me know your thoughts on the Red Rooster. Check out YouTube channel memberships. Check out Patreon for early access to all the videos from both YouTube channels. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which The Kyle Peterson Show is my podcast with my wife every single Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, videocast on YouTube. And this Red Rooster, perfect for Halloween too, Todd McFarlane. But there it is, the Red Rooster. Until next time, cock-a-doodle-doo once again.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?